Hey everybody, welcome to the second video for this week. I don't know about you, but I am extremely excited that Riverdale Season 2 has finally arrived. I love this show, it is so good. So, I thought I would do a fan art for the show because I'm just so into it, and I love doing fan art because it kind of makes me feel like I'm part of the show or the movie or the book, if that makes sense. It just helps me connect with it more if I can contribute my own stuff to it. So I did a drawing of the four main characters in the show, and of course there are lots more like Cheryl, but I didn't want to have to draw 10 people. So when I was creating the reference picture for this, I just put the four people in, I combined them all together, and I didn't have a background in the picture. When I was thinking of doing the background, I immediately thought it would be cool to do the little cafe that they always go to, but I wanted something a little bit more simple and something that hadn't been used, because in a lot of the fan art drawings that I had seen of Riverdale, people had often used the cafe. So I wanted something a little bit different, and I just went with the forest. I thought it would make a nice background, it wouldn't take too much attention away from the characters themselves, but it would contribute to the feel of the piece. So yeah, I was happy with how the background turned out, and it didn't take too long, which is awesome. I spent a long time on each of the people in here. I wanted to make them look as realistic as possible. I know I tend to make the eyes a little bit bigger than what would be natural. That's just something I've always done, and you'll notice that the eyes are a little bit bigger in this picture than they probably should be, but that's just my style, and I'm fine with that. So one of the parts of this picture that I am most proud of is Jughead's outfit, his clothes. I have always struggled with making the folds in clothes look real, and the picture that I chose for him had quite a bit of folds in his shirt, and in the jacket he was wearing were a lot of pockets and, the collars and stuff. So his clothes had a lot of dimension to them. I just basically paid attention to each of the small details and drew them as I saw them. I didn't rush into it, I just kind of took my time and paid attention to each of the colors that I saw in the reference picture, where the shadows were and everything, and overall I was very happy with the outcome. When it came to Archie's hair, I didn't have quite the right shade of red or brown for his hair, so I just had to mix a lot of colors together, and it still didn't come out exactly to the color of the reference photo, but it came close, and that's something I have to do a lot to find the right color, because though I have a lot of colored pencils, I never have exactly what color I need, and mixing is so important. And that's why I really like using the Prismacolor pencils, because they mix so well together. You just have to be careful not to layer too much, because they end up getting really waxy and shiny, and that actually happened in this picture, mostly on Veronica. I did quite a few layers on her, and so she ended up having a little bit too much shine to her, and the paper was a little bit dented from how many layers I had to do, because I kept making mistakes and I would go over them and try to push the color around with more colors, and probably pressed a little too hard in some areas. So you just have to be careful with that. Probably the two people that I had the hardest time with were actually Veronica and Archie, just because I had already done Betty, and that set the standard for everything, because she's the first one I did, so I came into the picture having lots of energy, wanting to get it as realistic as possible, spent a very long time on her, and so I was super happy with how she came out, and also happy with how Jughead came out. But by the time I got to Archie, and especially Veronica, I was kind of beginning to rush a little bit, because I was ready for the picture to be done, and so I didn't spend as much time as I probably should have. And maybe those who are watching this can't even really tell the difference, but me as the artist, I'm paying attention to every little detail, and I was not as satisfied with the outcome of Veronica and Archie as the others, but that usually happens just because I want to get pictures done so fast. And overall, I was very happy with the outcome of this picture. Each time I do a realistic portrait like this, they get better and better, and so I just have to keep doing them. And I encourage you all who want to become better artists, just keep drawing, keep practicing, because each picture you do will be better than the last. So there's the final product. If you guys would like to purchase this picture, the original, you can email me about that and we will work out a price, or prints of it will go for $20 on my Etsy shop. Just check out the link in the description. Also, be sure to check out my other shops like Society 6, where I have tons more merch like phone cases and prints. If you're new to my channel and like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, check out my last video if you haven't seen that yet. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next week with another video.